Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Pandemic Livestream series. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We are not going to be working with weapons. This is going to be a 30-minute class on unarmed techniques. The way we work in our school is that we have techniques that start from just a push into a grab. We have a lot of different things. But what we're going to focus on today is what do you do if somebody grabs you by the shirt and is threatening you, or is grabbing you by the shirt and throwing an attack with their fist. This can also work if they've got a weapon in their hand. It's just that your timing is shorter, but you can still do it because of the way this technique is. When we're looking at a technique that has multiple opponents, we're going to be using a technique that we call breast push, and that's using their body to get out of the way or so you can escape, or you can use their body as a impediment to their friends, and that will allow you to deal with less than the total amount of attackers. With that said, I want to go ahead and get into it. And again, John, thank you for your help.
Pleasure to be here.
I've watched a lot of videos on, 2-second knockout, how to win a fight in 5 seconds. And the only way to win a fight is to not be in that fight. But if you have no other alternative than to be in a fight, use these techniques as a way to escape the fight. Again, the only way to win a fight is to not be in it. And if you can have as little interaction with the other person as possible, that will allow you to get out of the way. If you are not able to leave because you are protecting someone, you can still do these techniques, but instead of creating an opening, you find something hard and solid and you bounce them off of it. In a lot of places, it is illegal to carry a weapon. And there's both good and bad about that. But one of the things I want you to remember is you always have one weapon with you. What weapon do you always have with you?
You always have the ground with you.
The ground is always there. If you're inside, you have a wall. If you're in a bar, you have a table. You always have something with you. So don't focus on the knife, the stick, the gun, any of those things. Those are simply tools. The things you always have with you are your mind and the ground. Remember, gravity is not just a suggestion. So we can use it to our advantage. So what do you say we go ahead and get started?
Let's do it.
All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what do we do if they come up and they grab onto the shirt? We're going to start with just a simple lapel grab. This can be done either as a threatening action or in preparation for more violence. Go ahead and prepare yourself. So the hand comes up and he's about to pull me, go ahead slow, into his strike to beat me senseless. I dislike that. So I'm not going to allow him to do it. We're going to start off with simply the lapel grab. Let's move a little closer to the... This is also true. Go ahead and actually relax for a second.
Sure.
This is also true when I teach my women's Be Safe self-defense class. You have some drunk guy comes up and just grabs you by the breast. Right? We have, some drunk is just doing this. The whole idea that I want you to keep in your mind is that if they have a hand on me, it's as good as if I'm holding that hand. They can no longer use that extremity, so it's a benefit for me. And I can use this technique, whether it's a lapel grab or a breast grab. So go back to the lapel grab. What we're going to do is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find their hand by the forearm. So just below the elbow, 2 hands on it. The hand that's lowest that's touching the arm is the same hand that he's gripping me with. I want the hand that's on top to be to my open side. From there, I'm going to slide up his hand, up his arm to his hand, and then with my fingers on the back of my knuckles, I'm going to pull my elbow down and in. So I'm actually pulling his hand and locking it onto my chest. For ladies, I tell them, if he's already going to grab me by the breast, if he's already got my breast, what else is he going to do? I'm going to pull it in. He can't get any more feeling on my breast than he already has. So our natural instinct is to push him away. That can give him an opening to do other things, and he's already got intentions. And if I push him away, I lose control of where he is. But it goes against our natural instinct, which is to try to open up space between myself and the aggressor. I want to be right on top of them. I want them where I know they're at. So let's go back to the lapel grab. I'm going to find the hand or find the arm. The hand, same hand. So if he's grabbing me with his left hand, my right hand is on touching contact onto his arm. Another way to think about it, go ahead and switch with me, is that whichever hand he's grabbing me with, that's his closed side. This is his open side. So I want to find it here. So my open side, I slide it in and I pull my elbow back. And so I'm pushing this hand into my chest. Go ahead and be strong for me. But I can't do a lot with just that one hand. So when I put this hand on top, it rolls his wrist. Simple rule of combat. This is something I learned from the Untouchables with Sean Connery. If they bring one hand, bring two hands. If they bring two hands, bring your body. If they bring their body, bring a buddy. So escalate so that you have more power involved. Not necessarily more violence, but more power involved because I'm upping the amount of muscles that I'm bringing into this confrontation. So once again, he grabs on, I find it, and I pull it in. Hug that hand into myself. He can no longer use this hand. Now what Fiore says is I have two choices. I can either ignore the hand that's grabbing me and deal with the weapon hand, or I can ignore the weapon hand and deal with the hand that's grabbing me, which seems counterintuitive because homie has a knife. Why would I ignore that weapon, whether it's a punch, a knife, a sword, whatever? But when I pull this in and I lock it to my chest, what I'm going to do is with my open side, I'm going to take a little step back onto the ball of my foot. Let's scoot back here because I want them to see my foot. So I'm here and I move my foot on so my heel is off the ground. An important note here, my head doesn't move. I'm not doing this because as soon as I do this, what am I telling you to do?
You're telling me to rush you.
Because I'm now back weighted and I'm pulling him into me, so he's just gonna basically roll over me. And I don't want to give him that intent, that feeling, because we're gonna feel these things much sooner than we're gonna see them. So when I give you the intention to come forward, just come forward.
Sure.
And there it is, and I'm already off balance. Same thing.
Okay.
I haven't moved my body.
Yeah. I have no sensation telling me that you're doing anything yet.
But as soon as I put my heel down, watch this. Look how much distance I've gained. And I'm not just going to lean back, but I'm in here. So let's do that again. So you grab on, he pulls it in tight. I pull it in, I step back, not moving. Then as my back heel goes down, I turn to look just past his shoulder. And that rolls his elbow in. Let's switch sides. Okay. Get a little bit closer. So he's in here. I find, I roll, and I step back at the same time that I'm sliding. Then I put my heel down and I turn. You okay?
Good.
And as I stated earlier, I can either ignore the hand grabbing me and deal with the weapon hand, or I can ignore the weapon hand and deal with the hand that's grabbing me. This time what I want you to do is I want you to punch me in the jaw. Got it. Or the head. Or so we've got the thread. I slide, I pull in, and I turn my body, and his punch misses me. Let's switch sides. So if you'll stand there. Let's come just, there we go.
How's
Do it
here?
again. So I find, I slide, I step, and I turn. That puts him out of the way. My hand, let's turn this way a little bit. My hand is still on top. So I can leave. Well, I got his hand, and I'll just step in, and I can just put him down on the ground. I can either hold on to his hand and push him down hard, or I can be more in control. One of the interesting things, fun things for this, is I can use him as a body shield. So we have him comes in, and he's got his friends. So I do this, push through, and I get him into the way of his friends. And I promise you, when you shove their head like this, if I don't let go of his hand, he's gonna let go because he's busy trying not to fall. An important thing to remember when you're doing techniques like this, once you push them off balance like that, their full intention is to protect their head. It's something they don't think about, it's just something you do. If they have other experience in some martial arts, they'll break fall. In other things, they'll try to tumble out of it. If they have no other experience, they're just going to shake their arms and try to get their balance back. An important thing to remember in a hand-to-hand situation is, I don't know what his experience is. So I can't expect him to respond the way I would respond. So, Edgar, glad to have you with us. I'll get into that at the end of this. Edgar wants to know if the school is going to open up soon, and I'll get back into that at the end of this. So we have our options. He grabs on. He's just threatening me now. He's already got this involved. So I'm going to pull it in, and I'm going to pull my hand back, step back without moving my head, turn, and look how he can't reach me with that hand easily. But this gives me other options too. Once I've done that, I can release my lead hand and push through his jaw, hook just under his jaw, and it's a sharp strike up. Hold up your hand. There. Move it back here. How's that? So here, just below the jaw. That's all I need to do. Go ahead and relax. I'm gonna hit you on the shoulder, okay? Cool. So if this shoulder is his jaw and I've turned, imagine that coming right up underneath the jaw. This is not a punch to the throat. It could be, but I don't want to kill him. You know, I don't need to go to jail for manslaughter because he's a jerk. It's not worth it to me. All I want to do is open up a way so I can escape. If I'm unable to escape and I need to make sure that he can't follow me or he can't hurt those people I'm trying to protect, watch this. He comes in, he's got that thread. I turn. Then, how many different things do you want to do at that point? We've seen all of these things come up. Sorry, we were working earlier and I didn't tell him about that one because I didn't even think about it until he was in that position.
Felt like a watermelon.
So let's switch sides and do that again real slow. Okay, so he's in here, he grabs. He's not waiting, he's just gonna hit me with that. Boom, and he's pulling me into the blow. Do it again. Oh. Ow. So he does that, and I roll around. But now I push his head to the side, and as I push his head to the side, like we were talking about earlier, because I'm breaking his structure, I can then slide right behind him. You notice how my hand is not going up. I'm pushing directly behind his back. You okay? Good. Go and grab onto me again. So he's in here, I turn, push, my hand goes straight out, thumb up. You can see the twist in his body. Then I just bring that over, and I've got lots of things I can do. Now, this turn, sorry. You okay?
Yep.
How many times have we seen this
Yay.
kind of come along, right? If I push him down further, I can just keep turning and torque his shoulder. I will remove his desire to continue this confrontation. We see a lot of things where people say, and this is where I kill him. This is the 21st century. I don't want to do that. It is not worth it to me to go to jail. It is not worth it for me to do that kind of psychological damage to myself. All I want to do is make sure I have an avenue to escape. It's important to understand that anything I can do on one side, I can do on the other. So John has been grabbing me with this hand. We're going to go really slow now because of his shoulder, but he can grab me on this side too, and nothing changed. Go ahead and punch. Do it again. Because he's pulling me into that blow. But as he does that,
Oh wow. Hey.
how do I want to put him down? Break his arm. I've now removed his desire to continue this confrontation. Would you agree?
I would agree with that.
Let's look at what happened there. Now, I want to tell you, I didn't know what I was going to do there. This was not a pre-planned action over the very initial action. All I did was listen to him. But the foundation of this action did not change. So he does that again. And he doesn't wait. He just punches me. Ugh. So I pull back, turn, hook that arm. Look how I've crossed him. Now, he's not going to stand there. He's going to want to move. So I'm going to push that out. Oh. I'm being nice because I'm on his stomach. It doesn't need to be on his stomach. Oy. As Master Kin says, re-stomp the groin. Using this simple technique, I can control him to put him down. We have a guest here at the school today who's just stopped by to drop something off. So I'm going to ask him if he would be so kind to come in and just be John's buddy. Would you be willing to do that? Sure. So if you'll, Kevin is with us today. He just came by to drop off some things. So if you'll just stand right there, sir. We'll keep our distance here a little bit, just so that we don't run into it. But John, come forward just a little bit more. There we go, perfect. John is not attacking me alone. He's got a buddy. Because he paid attention to the things we were saying earlier. Nice. If they bring one hand, bring two hands. If they bring two hands, bring your body. If they bring their body, bring a buddy. John brought a buddy. So,
I'm going to regret doing this.
Most people are right-handed. Mostly. Which means they're going to grab with their left hand and punch me with their right hand. Because that's where they're most comfortable. But look where his buddy is. He's directly behind John. So if I do all this action, what's to keep Kevin from hitting me in the back with something? I have no protection. So this is where I need to be aware of what's going on around me. So I step back, and I'm going to cross him this way, and then I can just shove him into his buddy. There's my avenue of escape. So if we'll do that again. Mm-hmm. So he comes through, and I move back. Right? Now he's got a buddy there, so I may not want to let him go until I've got control of his body. Good? I'm good. Can you tell him what just happened? Oh, hold on one second. Let me fix your mic.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, go ahead. That's weird.
And that one plugged snapped in there, Frank?
Yeah, the shirt. There we go.
Okay, now we got it. Okay, hope y'all can hear me. So what happened with that one there is, from the initial punch, I'm throwing here. So he's actually pulled himself out of measure of my punch. So I can't reach him just because I'm running into my own body. So as that's happening,
now I took off my lower hand. Before we were pushing this hand, but look how that twists my body. Instead, I take off this hand, and that allows me to step behind him.
Yeah. And so the really worst part of this entire thing when he's doing this here is when he turns me to face my buddy, first thing I'm thinking here is he didn't tell me what he's going to do to me. He never does. This makes it really fun. I'm going to be honest with you. Is I thought I was just going to have, but we're social distancing. I was just going to have him put a hand right there and just shove me. straight at my buddy. It
That's one
works.
option.
It puts a block in the way and everything. But no, instead what he does is he reaches up, and I can't mimic this, he gets a fistful of my luxurious long hair, and he drops his elbow to the same spot I just put my hand on him. So he cranks my head out in the line of my tailbone, and then kicks me in the back of the leg, breaking structure.
Here's another variation of this. When he punches me, I'd like you to punch me in the ear. Okay. Nice and slow, but we don't need to get too close. But it's that idea, right? Because unlike old movies from the 70s, they're not going to take a number. I'm 22. I attack at number 22, right? They're not going to wait for their number. So he goes up to punch me. He's coming in. I get out of the way. He's coming to punch me. I need you to punch me. Look, I can just put his buddy right in the way of the fist. Let's switch sides, please. Sure. So if you'll stand on that side for me, Kevin. Same idea. So we're in here. Go ahead and you're going to hit, and then I want you to hit too. So, well, hit. You know what I mean. So he hits me, boom, and then you hit me. So these are two things coming in at the same time, right? So he does it again. It's not me that's getting hit. Then I can do that whole thing again. You know, hook in, and now Hollywood, and he's dead. Hollywood. So anyways, this is one of the ways that we can utilize this action against a breast grab or a lapel grab to defend ourselves not only against the attacker, but potentially against his friend.
Something I talk about teaching grappling in my school a lot is one of the things you have to keep in mind is don't just pay attention to the first person, the initial threat point. Know what's happening around you. Keep that awareness, because we say this a lot, even jerks have friends, okay?
Hey, wait a minute.
I shouldn't have motioned this much in this direction on that. Even those people have friends, and those friends, if they're good friends, don't want to see their friend get hurt, so they're going to jump in and assist. So know where everybody else is. Keep aware of what's happening around you. Know where you are, know what's happening, and you can adjust to the other threat or control that entire space if you can see it.
This being the case, right now, the way we're facing, my exit point is directly behind me. I have a door here, or I have an exit point over here to the front door. I have nothing in the direction I'm facing. My natural instinct, if I've got, back up guys, back up a little bit. So I've got these two guys that are coming at me. This is my natural instinct. I've just now given him my back. I tell my ladies in their self-defense class, be safe, which stands for be secure, be aware, be free, and be empowered. Be safe. In the be safe class, if I go to my natural instinct, which is to turn my back and try to run away from my opponent, this guy is attacking me, not for sex. That's not why a guy attacks a woman. He's attacking for power, for control, and for fear. Sex is a byproduct of that. He wants those other three things. If I turn my back and I try to run away from him, and he leaps onto me and he knocks me to the ground, I break a nose, I knock out 2 teeth. He's got control, I'm in pain, and I'm scared. I've given him everything he wants. So what we focus on doing is running away in the direction we're already facing. There's our problem. I'm facing this direction, all my exits are behind me, and I cannot turn my back to get that. So let's go and do that again. So you're in here. I've got both of them here. So I turn, I cover, and now I hook them and I throw him there, and then now I've got time to run, because the first thing they have to do is extricate themselves from each other. This gives me the time I need to get a head start on them. I've told my students before, I had a truck fire that had a 40 caliber Glock in the truck along with 30 rounds of ammunition that cooked off. I found, and this is true I believe for everybody, in 2 seconds when you're terrified, you can go a long ways. So if I've got these two guys coming at me and I can make them stumble over each other for 2 to 4 seconds, I can get a good head start. Then they have to decide, am I worth chasing? Is it worth putting themselves at risk of getting caught or getting injured to try to catch me, or should they just go after somebody else? I don't want them to go after anybody else, but our mantra here is, I pray God this happens to nobody, but especially not me. So all I need to do is remove the incentive from them to interact. That brings us to our next action, which we're going to call in the school breast push B. I'm going to do it once or twice here so you can see it, and then we'll focus on these actions in the next class. So in breast push B,
Kevin, thank you so much for your assistance, and it's good to see you.
Thank you very much. There was a manuscript written by a wine merchant in Amsterdam by the name of Nicholas Petter. And Petter says in his manuscript, amongst many other great things, but he says, I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but in Holland, almost every fight starts with a breast push. Really, how much have things changed? So, Mr. Drunk here gives me a breast push, and he's trying to pick a fight with me. I can try to block it, then I get a Liverpool kiss, boom, or whatever, right? I can try to get out of the way. Now I'm just off balance. My friend Kyle has a wonderful counter to this. Not the one we're doing, I just want to show you because it works and I think it's really funny. He goes to push me and I just clap. Ow! And it just bangs their thumbs together. Works really well.
Let me get some more meat on my thumbs.
That's what we would call the equivalent of breast push A. But we're going for breast push B because, again, he has a buddy. Or I need to create space and time for me to get out. So in breast push B, I do like to like. If he's, and I can go either direction, I can choose to attack his left hand with my right hand or his right hand with my left hand. So like to like, not same to same. Like to like. For the camera, my exit's over here. So back up just a little bit. Here we go. So go ahead and give me a push. There's the action coming in. He does that again. Go slow. Go real slow and hold. I find him at his forearm. Let's actually turn around. Stand right here.
Okay.
Back up. There we go. Give me a push.
Okay.
That's the blow, the push that's coming in. So he does that, and I step back slightly with whichever hand I'm going to use, that foot. Go ahead and do it again. So there's that push that's coming in to break my structure. He does that again, and I step back. This is the same thing we did where I'm on the ball of my foot. And he still gets a good push. Go ahead and give me a push. I elongated his distance a little bit, but I took my shoulders with my hips, so I wasn't as off balance. Go and do it again. There's that. Do it again. And he moves slightly to the side, so when he pushes, go and push. I move, but I'm in a better position. Now we're going to incorporate our hand. So he does that, and hold. As I move my foot back, I find his arm at the forearm. As my heel goes down, I slide to his wrist. My other hand comes up underneath my arm as this comes back because now his head is going forward, but there's nothing in front of him. Then I find him at the neck and the hip, and I give him a push. An important thing to remember about this is I don't need to push hard. Let's come this way. I want them to see your foot. Switch sides. Actually, no, you don't need to switch sides. Okay. I can go this way. So he pushes. Now, I'm in this position. I want you to watch this ankle. He rolls over his ankle. It doesn't matter how big he is. Once you break their structure and you roll them over their ankle, they have to regain their balance or fall. This is time that you can utilize. You mind if we go a little bit faster? Sure. I'm going to take you this way. Just for safety.
Yeah, I can catch something over there.
Come this way.
Out here.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a push.
Okay.
Nah, a little bit faster.
All right.
Go ahead. Yeah, so something like this, a little bit faster. Oh, that was a good one. Do it again. This allows me, good, you all right? Good. I guess I hit him a little bit in the
You
jaw.
found the perfect hinge point right there. It clicked.
So I'm not going to use
it
my
fixed
hands
it,
this
though.
time. Go ahead and do it again, that same speed.
Sure.
Do you notice I'm no longer in front of where he was going? That's an important key. Get out of the way. We're going to talk more about this next time. Until then, John, thank you so much for your help.
My pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed the class today on the lapel grab. Again, this works just as well for women if you have some guy comes up and grabs you by the breast. They already have a handful of your breast. They're not going to get any more tactile sensation out of it. Our natural tendency is to try to push them away, but I've now lost sensation and control of where they're at. And as Fiore, the master, says, if they've got a grip on you, it's as good as if you've got a grip on them. They can't use that hand anymore. With that, thank you very much for joining us today. One of the questions that we had today is the school going to open soon? I wish I could answer that. I talked to Santa Clara County yesterday, and Santa Clara County is starting to open up things, but gyms and martial arts schools have been specifically named as not able to open up yet. I'm continuing to talk to them. When we do open up again, we are going to be training outside, wearing masks with no grappling or dagger work. Everything's going to be at a longer distance using swords. We're going to have our regular schedule minus dagger and grappling and pugilism. To replace those, I'm going to have a quarterstaff class just to replace those up close so that people that are that were only taking, say, those specific classes, they still have things they can do. This will allow us to maintain our distance, our physical distance, while coming back together socially. I can't wait to have everybody back in class. It's going to be great to see everybody. I hope you're maintaining your safety and your sanity while we're apart. Remember that with everything going on in the world today, the illness has not gone away. I used to be a firefighter. And as a firefighter, one of the things that we were taught in the academy, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Protect yourself, protect those you love, so that you can be there later to be of service to others. And until we're able to get back together here at the school, all the best to you and yours. Thank you again for joining us. John, thank you for your help.
You are very welcome.
And all of you, all the best. Boom.
Great to have y'all.
Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to barge in on that.
Don't you fret.
No, I thought, what time is it? Good grief, I thought it was much later than this.